Hello, my name is Maciej Grabek and I would like to talk to you about anti-patterns part 1. This part is almost seriously approach to anti-patterns which we can meet in software development. So let's start. First of all, short bio. I'm working for Holte Software as software engineer. I'm editor-in-chief of CodeGuru.pl. I'm MVP in Windows Phone development. I'm speaker, author of books, articles, webcasts. You can contact me using one of those three ways which are currently presented on the slide. So feel free to give me any feedback you would like to share. So let's start with agenda. First of all, I would like to cover reason why I'm talking about this, so what it is all about. Then I would like to present you three kinds of anti-patterns which are easy to find during software development process. Then I would like to present a lot of samples. The good thing is that there is a lot of those samples. The bad thing is that most of them are samples from my own experience, so it's maybe not the best thing to meet with, but it is good to get more and more knowledge and experience based on that. So let's go to the first part, what it is all about. So first of all, let's think about technological depth. What it is when we are trying to create our software, we are taking some decisions, and then we finally meet that one of those decisions was wrong. And for example, we do not have enough time to fix it, to change it for the better solution, and then over and over again, when we are expanding our project, our software, we are getting more and more troubles around those wrong decisions. So this is technological debt, and if we are not fixing this in proper time, then we are getting more and more problems around that. So it's good to know about this. Then another thing is that we are trying to create good and better and the best code. But even if you know the positive design patterns, it's not always enough to create good or the best code. If you would like to create the best code, you need to know, first of all, proper design patterns, but you need to know anti-patterns to be sure that you are not doing something which is maybe not prohibited, but not the best idea to do. Then all we do at our work are changes, because first of all, for example, for 1 or 2 months we are creating our software in very basic steps. We are creating something new, but then our customer or our product owners see this and want some changes over and over again. So in my opinion, software development is all about changes. According to this, we need to know how to change our software, how to know what kind of decisions we can take and how we should deal with this. So, anti-patterns, which I would like to present to you today, are one of those which are connected with changes. So this is why I would like to present this presentation. So let's think now what kinds of anti-patterns are available in context of software development. So first of all, development anti-pattern. If you are a developer, software engineer, then this part will be strongly connected with you, as you are the person who is dealing with such problems and who is creating new and new code with those anti-patterns. Hopefully you are not the person who is which is including those anti-patterns in your real life and production code. Then we have architecture anti-patterns, which are a second type of anti-patterns, and those are strongly connected with decisions we are taking at start of the project when we are trying to build all those blocks and join them together. Sometimes our decisions are not the perfect, and we need to deal with them in later stages of our project. So this part is very important to do, and very important to know what not to do during this stage. And then we have project management anti-patterns. This group is um, most important in context of product life cycle and product success, because like all we know, about 40% of software projects are failures. So we are not able to deal the deadlines. We are not able to provide software our customers wants, and only 6 per 10 projects are successful. So this is very important to know how project management anti-patterns can um, influence of our projects. Okay, so now let's start with lots of samples. I will try to cover and give you some knowledge about them. Mostly those names are names I invented, so hopefully it will be something not totally serious for you, but it will give you a little bit fun. So let's start with the first anti-pattern, BDD. This anti-pattern may be very similar for you, but is this behavior-driven development? No, it's not behavior-driven development, it's belief-driven development. What does it mean? So first of all, this is architecture anti-pattern mostly. In some cases, this is not only architecture anti-pattern, but let's focus on this part. What does it mean? So let's give some example. For example, I believe that PostgreSQL will be much faster than MS SQL in this particular example. So to be honest, I cannot imagine such situation, but there are some solutions. So first of all, you can change job if someone is trying to force such decision on you. And then you can discuss with I, because for me, there should not be such I believe situation. It's not a problem to create very quickly some performance based on our databases, based on sample database for using Postgres, using MS SQL, and then we can very easily verify what different performance are those. Of course, I'm not telling that Postgres is better or worse than MS SQL. It depends on your current project and on your current solution. So this is not the most important thing here. And what the funny thing connected with this is that I don't like using cats on my presentations, but this one was the perfect one. So I believe I can fly. It's almost the same like this sentence about comparing databases, but my response for that is believe nothing. Always check, always verify. There is one more sentence, very nice, connected with test-driven development. All code is guilty until proven innocent. So if this sentence can be used for any other parts, like for example, this all ideas are guilty until proven innocent. So if you want to force some decision on your team, then please try to verify your idea first, and then you can easily discuss with your team and discuss about this solution or idea. Then let's go to another one, another behavioral driven development anti-pattern. But in this situation, this particular one is very close to belief-driven development, and this means because I said so driven development. So again, it's architectural anti-pattern, development anti-pattern. This can be also project management anti-pattern, but um, not so common like architectural development. So let's see an example. Use PostgreSDB. Why? Because I said so. And this can be used for any different situation. For example, use Java. Why? Because I said so. Use Python, Ruby, because I said so. There's no any and there are no discussions about it. So again, solution is simply to change up or discuss with I. The second solution may be hard because in many cases, if someone is using this anti-pattern, it is strongly focused on him or herself. So discussion may be very hard to perform. And this is something which is, in my opinion, very similar to this sentence. So because I said so, that's why. Why? Because I said so. This is very clear for me. Okay, so let's go to another example about anti-patterns, this time EDD. What does it mean? Exception-driven development. In this situation, we have two explanations of this. So let's focus on the first one. Throw as many exceptions as possible. So what does it mean? First of all, this is development anti-pattern, and in our daily work, I hope that you are not following this anti-pattern. Let's see how this can be achieved. So first of all, we have, for example, data access layer. We are catching some exception, wrapping it with some kind of logged exception or something like that. Then we are throwing it forward. Then let's see what happens in business layer. So we are catching some exception. Okay, come on, this is some exception. Let's wrap it with logged exception. Do not care about what we got from the data access layer, and then the wrapped exception is thrown to higher level of our application. So in user interface, we are catching this exception, again wrapping with logged exception, then we are showing this to user and saying, hello, something went wrong. So what user can do? User can say only, but what is wrong? Is my data saved or not? Or maybe this exception is connected with refreshing data on my page, or my some part of my data is saved and another is not saved. Of course, if we are allowing a non-transactional system, and this is something wrong in my opinion. Now we should deal with this in bit better way. We can imagine another example. So let's say there is no database connection, so we are getting SQL connection exception. Then we are wrapping it with some DB exception, data access layer exception, business exception, then logged exception and some UI exception. But still, we are just making snowball with those exceptions. Maybe better idea is to follow some other rule, but because in this situation we are like with ice mountain. This is problem very small on top, but there is huge amount of problems under the level of water. So this is something we can achieve. So let's think about what we can do with this. First of all, we should think how much data we need to provide to the higher levels of our application. We should convert those exceptions instead wrapping and wrapping again. Of course, there may be some exceptions from this, but in most cases, we should throw some data access layer exception, then deal with this exception on business layer. And if there is no solution on business layer, we should convert this data access layer exception and throw another business layer exception, because moving those exceptions through whole levels is not the best idea. Another thing is that we can use some exception codes, our custom exception types. This is most appropriate solution. Use our own types of exception. Do not try to use a new exception with message, because this is the worst idea I ever saw. So better not to use it. And another explanation of EDD, still this is exception driven development, but based on this small image on bottom right corner, you can get to know what is all about. So first of all, we are getting some parameters, we are getting some input from user, and then we are trying to apply the same algorithm for everything. But then we are getting some information from or our architect or from product owner, product manager, that if there will be some um, condition, then we should do something different. And then we are getting more and more such conditions, we are getting more different behaviors, and our very nice, very clear code is getting more and more dirty. First of all, this is development anti-patterns. So, like I told you just a second before, this can be related with the project management, but in most cases, we are trying to do something very quickly, and instead of think about what we are doing, instead of use some refactoring, we are just creating new if statements, some exceptions from the general application flow. Okay, the funny example was connected, real life example was connected with number 4, and there was a possibility for user to choose drop-down list option, and there was special condition. If this option index is 4, then do something important, then do something different, totally different than from other options. There was a very large if statement in our code, and the biggest problem was that user was able to reorder those options from the list. So if user reordered those options, then our logic was totally crap. So user was able to change it. We was not able to change that code because on the production, it was on the production without possibility to dynamically change it. And that was the real example. Solution. The best solutions for this is to use some kind of enumerators with the static values, integer values. Use DB to configure your application, or use resources for any kind of items which are not allowed to change. DB solution is of course very easy to change, to update, to modify. So this is perfect for dynamic systems. Then if you need to do something special with different types of objects, use simply strategy or composition for them as design patterns or development patterns, and those will be solution for your problems. Instead of thinking what to do in your controller class, say this instance of object should do something with this data, and then only those classes will know what to do and will implement different behavior than other classes. Okay, and very nice picture connected with Tetris. This is all about what is wrong with our code when we are using exceptions. And there is always the bad block, which is not invited but by anyone. and we don't like to see this particular block on our Tetris game. So this is exactly the same with the changes in our project. And another question is, does the rule, every rule has an exception? Has an exception? This is very interesting question, and maybe you should think about this at your own. Okay, let's go to another anti-pattern, and this time it's HDD. I can say no, this is not hard drive disk. This is hope-driven development. Very nice idea connected with our projects, and this is all anti-pattern. So development anti-pattern, architecture, or project management anti-pattern in any part of our project lifecycle, it can be found. How it appear? So first of all, I can say, I hope this will work, this will build, this will those tests will pass. Another thing is, I hope this architecture is correct, or I hope we will meet deadline. The last one is very popular one, very easy to find in our daily work, but I must say, I hope you are not meeting those anti-patterns very often. Um, Solution. So first of all, if we are thinking about development anti-pattern, then use tests. Test all your solution before you are sending into build server, before you are sending this to solution control server. Uh, if you are thinking about if this will build, then build this solution. I know that some of projects can build couple minutes or couple hours, but this is worth to think about the building before sending your code to the solution control. Source control. And then another thing connected with the architecture is discuss. Discuss with everyone. If we are working in Scrum, which is connected with the deadlines too. If we are working as Scrum team, we are multi-functional people. We know how to test, we know how to design, we know how to write code. So we need to be like Leonardo da Vinci. We need to know at least a bit from any discipline. So in this situation, it is very good and very good idea to discuss with other team members and think about your current idea and current solution. It's very good. And then about meeting deadline, there is no hope. There is only true facts stored on your Scrum dashboard or TFS dashboard or any other tool you are using. So if you are working with Scrum, you have tasks, you have product backlog, you have estimates for all those, and you exactly know where this product will be provided and when this product will be finished. So there is no hope about deadlines. There are only numbers. MHDD. This is something called must-have driven development. This particular one is project management anti-pattern. Very hard to deal with because why? Let's see example. An example is that all those features I provided are must-have. Must-have is connected with Moscow analyze, and Moscow contains must-have, should-have, could-have, and won't-have. And if someone is providing you solution requirements with all must-have, it means that something is missing. What is missing? Of course, those three other items. So should have, could have, won't have. Why? Let's imagine project with only must have things. So it needs to be, we need to finish everything until we can say this project is completed. We can provide it for our client. Let's think about different approach. If we have, let's say, 60% of must have, then we have 20% of should have. 10% of could have and 10% of won't have, then we can, even if we have some problems with estimates, we are not dealing with our time frames, we can say this all must have elements are implemented. Then we can get some should have items and implement them as many as possible during our fixed time. If project do not contain fixed time and fixed price, this is of course okay. You can use must have driven development because you will get enough money to cover all your bills. But if the project uh, is focused on some fixed time or fixed price, then must have driven development is the worst idea which can be provided and included in this project management. Solutions. First of all, Scrum and Agile. This is a very good solution for this. And discussing about priorities, let's order those tasks in priorities. Let's say this one is priority one, this one is priority one, but the another one task is priority, let's say 100, which means that this don't need to be implemented and I will live without this. I know that it is very hard to discuss with customers about that, but after some time, after couple minutes, couple hours discussing with them, it can show them, the customers, that there are some features maybe not so important, maybe not so commonly used, which can be moved to the end of the queue. Then TFS. TFS is very easy to use with the newest version of Team Foundation Server and Tasks Management, Scrum templates. This tool is very powerful in this context. Of course, there are other tools which can be used for this too. Okay, CPDD. What does it mean? I think that those first two letters can be familiar with for you. I will say that two last letters are yes, driven development. So first two letters are copy and paste. So copy and paste driven development, this is very bad idea. This is very bad idea because this development anti-pattern drives you to get some piece of code and use the same piece of code in different place, not by extracting it to another class or something, but just copy and paste it to your own place. No examples because we all do know how it looks like and how it works, so there are no examples required. Some solutions. So first of all, you can extract code you would like to use to some other class. You can make it public or at least protected if you are thinking about nested classes. Then you can use it, reuse this code, refactor, make it usable from different parts of your solution. You can even create external library with this code and make it available for your all different projects, not only for this particular one, but for other team members, for other company members. And then this will be useful not only for you. You will not use copy and paste. You won't have to fix all bugs in two places or more places, but only in one place. And another thing connected with this is that even if you will copy and paste code, there always will be some difference, like on this picture. So maybe this is not the best idea to copy and paste code in your solutions. Let's go to another example of anti-pattern. This time there is no shortcut, there is only full text, which means dead end. What does it mean? So you can use external library with source and you can start modifying it because you found some library which fits your requirements, but there is still some exceptions. You need to change some piece of code to make it very strongly connected with your solution. And this is very heavy to deal with development anti-pattern. And you can ask me why this is anti-pattern. So let's think about downloading jQuery plugin and modifying it, and then uh, you can try to update it to the latest version. You can try to update jQuery and all those plugins connected with this jQuery. I was working for one company, and there was a situation exactly with jQuery plugins. There was a very large modification of jQuery plugin with some resources, strings, messages for the client, for the user, and we had to stick with jQuery 1.2, if I remember correctly, instead of going to the latest version of jQuery because it was so much modified instead of using some different solutions. And about solutions, what we can do? We can first of all prepare some kind of wrappers around those logic we would like to use. Then we can use extension methods or something like that if we are using C#. So this will be very easy to deal with if we have some ready code and we would like to modify it at least a little bit. So then extensions methods are good enough. Okay, then this is some image connected with dead end. I was looking for more bloody one, but this probably is the bit better, as Google told me that the bloody ones are not the perfect things, and they were really bloody. Let's go to another example of anti-pattern. This time it is RDD. What does it mean? So this is region-driven development. Regions are strongly connected with the development, and it behave with too much regions in your code. So we can imagine using region. This is very good idea if you have not too much code you would like to group in proper groups. Describe it a little bit more, but this is not very good idea to do so. And then you are starting using those regions more and more, and then suddenly you see some classes, some code. Uh, I will show you those examples on one of next slides. And what is solution for those problems? So first of all, you shouldn't have classes with regions, because if you need to provide region, it means that there is too much code in one class. If you need to do this, then maybe it is much better to split this code into subclasses, into partial classes, into different files, extract this code to different places, maybe create some helpers, providers, or something like that. But helpers are not the best idea, as if something is helper, it means that you do not know how to use it, how to create a class from this helper. Okay, and let's see some example. We have very nice code. We have some program, class program with inside console application, and we are thinking about, oh, there is very nice structure of this program. We have private fields, public fields, public properties, constructors, public methods, private methods. Very good. But then if you will expand those regions, you can see something like that. And this means there is no code inside, only main method, which is generated by the console application. And solution to know what is going on without expanding those regions is to turn on line numbers in your code. Then you will simply see that instead of, let's say, 100 lines, you have about 20 lines of code, which means there is some problem with so many regions and only 20 lines of code. So this is good idea to think about it. And then another problem connected with the regions, and we can imagine that this region is collapsed. I can read additional test attributes. So I assume that there is a lot of tests. I can see a lot of code connected with tests. And then I understand that, okay, someone created a lot of tests for this, so there's no reason to worry about how it works. Does it works? And then I expanding this region, and I cannot see any line of code which is working, only comments. This is very bad, and this is very easy to uh, get into this trap because you see something, you are thinking about the content of this region. You are making some assumptions of this, and those are mostly wrong. Okay, let's go to another one. This time DNTDD. This is do not touch driven development. This is strongly connected with region driven development because in most cases there is one large region with the do not touch text on top as a name. So in this case, it means there is something wrong. We all do create something like that. This is, of course, development anti-pattern, like region-driven development, and it means that we created something which is not clear, which is not possible to read. And if we are trying to say do not touch it because it works as it should, because it meets all those things, because um, this code makes all our tests to pass, then it's big problem. When we have some magic class or method which keeps some complicated logic, then it's still a problem. We should make it as easy to read as possible instead of creating such large objects or such mysterious objects. What is solution for this? So first of all, use small pieces, use test-driven development, because if you have those large objects which you would like to refactor, you would like to work with them and change to better code, first of all, you need to have some tests to be sure that your code after refactoring is working exactly the same like the previous code. So this is very good idea to make to prepare as many tests as possible before you will try to work with this. And this is another example of do not touch. This time it's do not change any settings. It means that this particular system is working, so better do not touch it because it can be broken. If something is so agile, then there is a space to think about improving this project to make it stable. No matter what will happen, it can be stable if this is properly prepared. Let's go to two more anti-patterns. This time those are development anti-patterns. So let's think, what are they? Um, those are magic number driven development and magic string driven development. What does it mean? So like I told you, this is development anti-pattern, and examples are if selected options index is 4. What does it mean? It's 4. It means nothing. Or if parameter is equal to 13, or if type is equal to my class type or any different magic string or number, then we have large problem because like with this example about drop down list index, it is very not flexible. It means that someone can change some place in your code, change this option from 4 to 5, and then it means nothing. What you can do in this situation is to use some kind of enum values. And then if instead of saying if selected options index is 4, then you can say if selected options index is equal to my special option index. It's much better. You can do exactly the same with resources. You can do the same with DB configuration, or you can create constant class. It means that you have class with a lot of constants values and you can use those, but maybe it will be easier to use enum values for you. But of course it depends. Enum value you need to always cast to integer, for example, and with const class you can make it much easier to use because you can say that this part is integer, this one is string. And this is image I was thinking about during talking about magic numbers. So there are people who can came to you and say, "Hi, I think that." So this is first of all think-driven development or belief-driven development. I believe that this page can load in less than 2 seconds. Then you can say why, and you will get responses because I said so and because this magic number. So in this situation, this whole discussion, this whole problem solution can be a bit different. It's always about working with other people, working on your decisions. And then another example, anti-pattern like a goat. Let's think about um, uh, names known as God object, God class, interface bloat, or bug. It means that you have some class or object or interface with a lot of different things, not connected each other, not related to one domain of problem. There are only too much things at one place, which means that this is, of course, development anti-pattern because only developers are getting into this problem. An example of this can be some class responsible for users CRUD and activities CRUD and logic and some kind of logging. So based on this example, first of all, we can create at least two classes, one for users management, second one for activities management, and then we can go forward with logic class and logging class. So more and more classes created based on one class, one too large class, one too large class, which can be called God class or God object. And if this is interface, then it can be called interface bloat. About bug, I was working for one of companies and there was a problem. We were using bug object to store anything. We were able to put there any kind of value needed during our work. It was called, we are using a bug to make this optimized. It was some kind of local, maybe not local, it was some kind of cache for presenting data for users, but it was growing and growing. It was stored in sessions, so amount of data stored in this particular object was around 100 kilobytes. So a lot of things stored in one place, and performance and whole idea was was not acceptable. Solution, like I told you, the solution for this problem is divide by responsibility. Extract classes, extract interfaces. It is much better to implement 4 or 5 different interfaces than implement one large interface not really connected to our current problem. And this is much better solution to split into small pieces, small interfaces, small classes, and make it much more clear to read. And this is picture I was thinking about when I was talking about God class. Um, Someone told me that I could be anything I wanted, so I became a god. This is very good idea. Sorry for that dog, but it looks perfect to current problem and current slide I was covering. So this could be part for Q&A. If you have any questions, feel free to use one of 3 channels mentioned on start. So contact email, Twitter, or my blog. Of course, one more thing for the end of this presentation. I would like to tell you that you should always give 100% at work. So you can give 12% on Monday, 23 on Tuesday, 30 on Wednesday, 20 on Thursday, and 5 on Friday. So feel free to follow this rule. Of course, it was just joke. And see you during next presentation. That's all, folks. Thanks. Bye.